I extend a very warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Dr. Anurag Batra, who is my role model. Sir, the way you have built the Business World group and numerous communities, the way Exchange for Media has taken the center stage, we derive tremendous inspiration from you. And I'm blessed that we have you opening up this particular event today here for us, sir. I further take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Gopalakrishnan Ramachandran, the chairman of InnoServ Group, the guiding force behind the spirit of InnoServ Group. Thank you for joining in, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome our university partner, Adamas University, our digital partner, InnoServ Digital, AI partner, Orai Robotics, community partner, ASMA, and Eccentric Global. I welcome especially Professor Ujjwal Chowdhury. Without you, sir, this event wouldn't have been possible. Your support has been tremendous in setting up the whole thematic and everything within the event. I welcome all distinguished speaker and attendees as we embark in the journey of engaging fruitful discussions by some of the finest leaders in the media, entertainment, and communication space. Thank you so much and welcome you all to SMX Indicom 2021. Over to you, Chandan.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul, for this lovely and warm welcome to all. Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome again to all our attendees over here, our special guest for the day, GR Sir and Dr. Anurag Batra. On behalf of SMS Network, an emerging community connecting entrepreneurs, marketeers, and sales professionals, I, Chandan Anand, Vice President, InnoServ Group, welcome you all in today's important and exciting deliberation. It has been a very important day for us. We are very excited to host this event. Let me invite your attention for 2 minutes to brief you about the InnoServ Group. We are a digital acceleration company and a leading media organization. With over 7 years of legacy, InnoServ Group has grown with an outreach of over 2 lakh community members across the globe. ASMA being the leading community in academia, Digital HR, a leading community of HR professionals, ADMH, an emerging community in healthcare and wellness sector, and the fourth community, SMX Network, an emerging community focusing on entrepreneurs, sales, and marketing professionals. SMS Network is touching an outreach of approximately 25,000 stakeholders from various industries like media and entertainment, automobile, banking, insurance, real estate, IT, ITS, manufacturing, SMBs, and many more. Recently, we successfully established our footprints in Middle East, operating from Dubai and opening doors of innovation in MENA region. With our wings getting bigger than ever and serve innovation, InnoServ style, sans boundaries and across the continents. InnoServ is continuously engaging with the stakeholders via various facets like conducting webinars, events, conferences, felicitation and awards, corporate training and development programs, website development, social media enhancement, reputation management, and whatnot. We invite articles, blogs, news stories to be published on our portals and amplifying its targeted promotion via social media handles and YouTube channels. We are committed to organize webinars and virtual events which are unique and niche in its own way, thus creating an opportunity of knowledge sharing and by inviting who's who from the various sectors and industry. Our mission is to accelerate this movement of community outreach, knowledge sharing, and exploring collaboration opportunities. The journey becomes easier and exciting with your support and encouragement. Today, we are extremely proud to announce the opening of India Communication Summit 2021, known as IndiComs 2021, emerging as one of the India's biggest summit on media, entertainment, and communication, a 2-day virtual event on 4th and 5th of March. With emphasis on new age technology adopting an effective communication, we will focus on helping the community of media and entertainment to learn, engage, network, and recognize the upcoming trends and tools so that we can attain the edge and remain future success ready. We would like to thank our partners, as already mentioned by Rahulji, University partner Adamas University, digital partner InnoServ Digital, AI partner Orai Robotics, community partner ASMA, and Arcentrix Global. We are really thankful for your support and association. I request all the attendees to kindly fill the feedback form, which will be shared at the end of this session to help us understand the learning outcomes and how this event was helpful to all of you. Also, if you attend the sessions for both the days, and which is very informative and worth attending, and also fill the feedback form for both the days, you become eligible for the e-certificate being an attendee for 2 days virtual event Indicoms 2021. I also request all the attendees and participants to mark your participation in this event via posting questions and queries to the panel speakers in the Q&A box to make this session more engaging, interesting, and meaningful. Let me proceed with the event flow now. I would now like to invite our mentor, guide, and driving force, because of whom we were able to finally execute the idea of India Communication Summit under the banner of SMX Network, our program convener, Professor Ujjwal Chowdhury.
Thank
Pro-Vice
you.
Chancellor of Adamas University. He is a leading academician and is known for specialized approach to media education. He has been associated with leading institutions like Amity University, DGMC Media College, Symbiosis, Whistling Woods International, and NSHM. He is also associated with several media organizations, a well-known face in TV studio debates, a regular writer in Indian media, recipients of Golden Triangle Award and Hall of Fame Award in PR and PR education. It is a privilege and honor to invite you, Ujjwalji. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Chandanji. Thank you. Indeed, the way you have introduced everyone is really flattering in a way. By the way, this is a fabulous journey today. Today, we are starting this journey with this program, India Communication Summit, which is expected to bring forth the media ecosystem closer to the audience that it serves. There have been many organizations, many efforts, in fact, to create platforms of media professionals. But what I like in this context, particularly, Chandanji, Rahulji, RG, Mr. Batra, Dr. Batra, and all the people who are just now present within Zoom or in video streaming platforms, YouTube and Facebook. For everyone, I'd like to say, there are so many platforms I have been part of, Fiki Frames, as a speaker, as a panelist, as participating, listening to others, and also several platforms across the country, without naming any, but many platforms. But what I find is that there has been so far, yes, it's changing, before pandemic, the focus that the web dunya, the digital world should have, that hasn't been the case. 20th century, if it was of the print medium largely, 21st century, from 1990s onwards, more so in the 21st century, first 10 years, 15 years, it has been the dominance of electronic media. But now, and especially after the pandemic, we are moving to a web-led, digital-led communication world. And in this context, the understanding of media and communication and entertainment has to go beyond platform. It has to be platform and neutral in a way. And we have to also appreciate all forms of communication are converging on the single platform of the internet or the digital. It may have different expressions, but finally, seamless convergence is the order of the day. This is one significant point that this communication summit is expected to make. The second significant point, most communication meets and media meets in the country focuses on the content side, less on the business side. We expect that this summit shall bring forth the emphatically the sort of ambiguity that we are having now with respect to media revenues in a transforming time, in a transforming situation. So we need to also understand that the triad of media, one angle is media content, the creative output. The other aspect is media technology, all the platforms that take the content to the audience and that help in preparing the content. And the third part is media revenues or media business, media management. all these three are equally interdependent. That hasn't been the case always. We have thought of content being at the heart of media. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But without the right technology taking it to the audience and the right revenue streams, the content cannot flourish beyond a point. So the importance of media management and media revenues is the second most important point in our communication summit. First being web-led convergence, second being media revenue and media business. And the third aspect, all these three require human resources. We are now $23 billion economy, media economy, $23 billion, which is roughly 1.72 lakhs crores, according to FICCI frames. And the same FICCI presupposes or even predicts that we will be $50 billion media economy in next 5 years. But who will drive this? It has to be driven by human resources. Unfortunately, if the human resources are good in some aspect, they are ignorant of the other aspects. Someone good in writing, completely ignorant of technology, ignorant of how to monetize the writing. Someone good in business does not know the aspects of creativity. Someone good in technology is not very business savvy. So this whole aspect of like a human body, a doctor, for example, one needs to know the whole body, physiology and anatomy. Inside the body is physiology, outside is anatomy. The entire anatomy, physiology has to be learned to become a heart specialist or a child specialist or a gynecologist or an orthopedic. So similarly today, you need a new talent force, talent pool in this country, who is knowing the entire media and communication as the anatomy and physiology of the body, and then specialize as a digital marketeer or an ad man, ad professional, or a content guy, or someone in animation. So this whole new convergent talent pool is largely missing. Yes, some people have learned on the job, but a lot need to be done at the campus level. So this communication is also bringing together media entertainment on one side and media talent on the other side. That is media learning and education on the other side together. 3 points: web-led convergence in communication, media business and revenue, and media education, training, and talent pool. These three are focus areas as far as this Indian Communication Summit is concerned, or INDICOMS. And the second thing, coming to contemporary point, how has been the last year? 2020 is a historical year. In the last 100 years, what we have not seen in economy, in health sector, in people's mindset, psychology, politics, we are seeing now. This 1 year has been a landmark year, 2020. According to health science, eye, power of eye, when it is 2020, it is perfect vision. I don't know whether the year 2020 was a year of perfect vision or not. But this year has made a paradigmatic change. And therefore, it is important at the beginning of 2021, that is now, when this financial year is ending in the next 3 weeks, it is important now to examine how the last financial year, 2021, has been for the communication field, for the domain of media and communication. And how shall it be the next financial year, 21-22? So review of 2020 and preview of 2021 is the last purpose of this India Communication Summit. So through this summit, we are upholding web-led media convergence, the need for new category of media talent prepared for this web-led media convergence, and understanding the significance of media business and revenue, which is often missed out. Along with that, we review 2020, we preview 2021. With these opening comments, as the purpose of this India Communication Summit of 2 days, over 10 hours, 5 hours today and 5 hours tomorrow, in which 42 stalwarts of media would be speaking to you. And when we say stalwarts, we are not looking at people who are in 60s and 70s in their age. We have speakers as young as 31, 32 also, up to seniors up to 70, 67, 68 maybe. But the larger pool of speakers are in the 30s and 40s. because it is the people in the 30s and 40s who are calling the shots in media and communication. This media is a different media from the 1960s and 70s and 80s of India. This media entertainment is a web-led media, is a technology-driven media. Yes, creativity will always be at the heart, but the creativity has to be expressed sharply and monetized as well. And this expression through technology and this monetization, these two are being led by people who are in their 30s and 40s, who are web educated, who are knowledge society savvy. And therefore, most of our speakers are also leaders in their own right, but at the age group of 30s and 40s, some 50s, only a couple of them 60s. But the 60s guys are quite young at heart, and you will find it very soon. With these opening comments, let me now invite the special guest, Mr. Ramachandran Gopalakrishnan, popularly and affectionately called RG. RG, who is the chairman of InnoServ, and InnoServ has been already introduced by two leaders of InnoServ, Mr. Rahul Jain and Chandan Anand earlier. RG has a 20 years background of investment banking. He has been a serial entrepreneur. He is also director of the Keiretsu Forum of Mumbai. He has been guiding and mentoring several entrepreneurs over the last 2.5 decades. RG, we are proud to have you as the chairman of InnoServ, and we are proud to have you in this program, which is the maiden session of the maiden edition of India Communication Summit this year, 2021. Over to you, RG, for your words of wisdom and encouragement.
Thank you, Professor Ujjwal Chowdhury. And thank you, Chandan and Rahul, for this opportunity and a privilege and an honor it is to be speaking in this August forum, having media luminaries surrounding me for the next 2 days, spread over 10 hours, as Professor Chowdhury rightly put it. We call media as a fourth estate. The executive, the legislature, the judiciary form the other three. And democracy is based on media being powerful, fair, and complementary to these three pillars, which form the democracy and the democratic fabric of a nation. When Chandan had told me that, would you be able to give us some light on the future of media, entertainment, and communication, and how would you look at it as changes have taken place and the pandemic has affected us? Something struck a chord in me. And I immediately started looking back, and I felt that while we call the pandemic as a big crisis, as Professor Chowdhury rightly put it, I feel that media has always been there in all the crises. It could be the world wars. It could be the wars between two countries. It could be the Indo-Pak War, or the Indochina War. But what I find is that media has been in the forefront. Ironically, surprisingly, whenever there is a downturn in the economy, it could be due to recession, it could be due to wars, it could be due to a pandemic like now, or like the pandemic that affected the world about 100 years ago, the Spanish flu. The first budget cut is for advertisement and media. And surprisingly, we look at media and communications to stay informed, up to date. How ironic. I remember as a small child, about 50 years ago, when the Indo-Pak War was there, the media was the radio and the print medium, and the 9 o'clock news was very important. Yes, a 60-year-old here, as Professor Chowdhury rightly stated, is going to take back memories down the lane, nostalgia though it may be, but relevant when I talk right now about what happened 50 years ago when we used to use the media to inform us whether the troops are advancing or whether the troops are retreating. And we used to have people like General Sam Manekshaw, who later became the Field Marshal Manekshaw, telling us that we are doing well. And we'd have the 9 o'clock news in which the news reader, if my memory serves me right, was a person by the name Surajit Sen. And he used to say that the troops are on the gateway of Dhaka and Dhaka is going to be liberated. And we, in our places, with darkness all around us, used to burst into emotions and used to feel very nice because media was playing a role. The media was communicating to us. The papers were communicating to us. That was a print media, the radio media. If you look at it, we used to wait for telegrams. How can I ever forget that while the media has evolved, the media has been intrinsic in its power to influence the population, the nation, the mood of the nation, if we may say so. And if we look at what has the media been doing, the media has been always educating us through different forms. And as and when the media has underwent a change, it could be, it started with what we term as the print media, the newspapers, went to the radio, went to the television, and then it went into billboards, and then it went into what we call as the web media, and now the social media. All these transformations indicate only one thing, that we use media to keep ourselves informed, to keep ourselves tuned up to the latest, and we have needed the communication more than ever before. Media has provided us not only information, media has provided us with economics, and it has been an economy, as Professor Ujjwal Chowdhury rightly stated, and it keeps on growing. Maybe the pie of each of the media may change, the dynamics have changed, the print media may come down, the visual media may go up, or the visual media has come down, and the web media is going up, the social media is going up. But what remains relevant to this date is that media is a powerful force, and media will help shape the mood of the nation, will influence the thinking process. Yes, we need to be cautious. There can be fake news. There can be news which is not reliable. But having said that, which industry doesn't have it's the shades of gray in them? Almost all have it. But overall, in an overall context, if we look at the media has been playing a powerful role, it's been playing a great role, it's been playing a role which is a service to the nation in a democracy. And I think with this web media and the social media in play, you would find more and more voices heard easily than ever before. And no longer is it a privilege to talk in the media, because you can have your own YouTube channel and start talking about what's happening in the nation. As simple as that. So you have your own media, you have your own channel. And again, I go back to what has happened to communication. The age-old communication used to be in the form of a telegram. When to fax, to telephone, we had the ubiquitous, the postman. How can we forget the postman? Every day we used to wait for the postman to come. And again, when I get transported to nostalgia, it has been immortalized by songs and movies. If you look at a song by the name Chitti Aayi Hai, in the movie Naam, you know that the postman was eagerly awaited when we, the sons of the soils in those days, went to US, UK, and other places to earn a better salary. And similarly, when you look at the border, the forces are fighting. You Sandesha Leke Aaye Hai. When you hear those songs immortalized by movies, you know that communication has played a great role. The postman has played a great role in delivering to you the good news and the not so good news. The soldiers dying in war, the postman was the first guy who came and told us. Today, media is informing us. It has become impersonal at times. But then we had the communication channels then. The telegrams were there, and the telephones were sometimes inaccessible. Today, mobile phone is widely available. So the press of a button, you get information. or rather information overhang in your system. One can only say this, that the media has come to stay, the communications is here, and entertainment has been provided all through. For us, the cheapest form of entertainment was going to the theaters. It was a way for a family outing, and the entertainment was there then through the television sets. The entertainment earlier, which was in theatrical plays, got replaced with a visual medium, and now the entertainment is through the OTT, over the top. Sometimes we also go over the top. Having said that, one thing which we can find, and it's very ironical, the media and the communications and entertainment, they've all played a very vital role, be it during good times or be it during crisis. And why do I say during crisis? Because I feel ground zero reporting in a war, the journalists are on the forefront and going and talking about it, and the visual media is there with the journalists even hearing the bullet shots that are being fired. And we hear, it could be a terrorist activity, which happened 26/11, where we find that the journalists were in the forefront of reporting, telling us what's happening. And what else can we say about the media people, except saying that they're equally frontline warriors? We talk about frontline warriors in a pandemic. I talk about frontline warriors throughout the year, 24/7, day in, day out. And that's the media. It's reporting floods. It's reporting war. It's reporting it's reporting about politicians. It's reporting about death, rape, you name it. They're always there. They're doing a crime beat. They're doing a patrolling. They're always the eyes and ears of yours. You're staying tuned. You are wanting information and you are informed. And then you have an informed debate, because media plays a role of giving you the content which we say is king. That is the content that comes from media. And then you start discussing, analyzing, and become the specialists who say what happened where. But at ground zero reporting, the journalists, hats off to them. The communication people, hats off to them. In difficult conditions, they send information and communication, and hats off to them. We always talk about our armed forces. We talk about our people in the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses, the other paramedic. I would also add to them the people in the media sector, the journalists, and the other people in the production area who bring news, live news to you, be it social media or otherwise, working 24/7. Even in the pandemic, they were working 24/7. And we didn't even once say that they are also equally our frontline warriors. Hats off to them. All I can say is that the media is here to stay. The communication is here to stay. The entertainment form has changed. But remember one thing, when the things become normal, it's the very same entertainment centers like the theaters and others where the spends will be more and the entertainment will be bigger and larger. And with OTT having been added, it's already become bigger. Other forms of entertainment are always actually constructed in the field of entertainment and in the field of media. Media finds a way to be relevant in the ever-changing dynamics of the world, in the ever-changing ecosystem. When the social media has come, you see the innovation that is taking place. You see that people are at it all the time to be updated. And we see that if we cannot have the outings to theaters, to social distancing, we have the OTT platforms. If we cannot be going for actual concerts, we have virtual concerts that have taken over. And if we cannot have actual conferences, we have virtual conferences which came up overnight, be it through Zoom, Google Meet, or MS Teams. And I dare say media, communication, and entertainment is here to stay. It has stayed for the last 1,000 years. The form of delivery may change, the content may change, but content will be king. But one thing is for sure, it'll thrive. Ironically, media is idolized and villainized in equal measures, or maybe villainized more than it's to be villainized. And I think, yes, while the cybersecurity laws are good and self-regulatory frameworks are necessary, we need to ensure that the creative freedom that is there and the creativity and the freedom of expression which should be there in a democracy, is not lost by laws. And as government has rightly said, government is not in the business of being in business. Similarly, the media should be allowed to play its role. The media will not be doing anything by way of trial by media or giving verdicts. That is the excessive part at times takes place. But overall, what media has been doing to the nation or to the world, what communication has been doing to the nation or to the world, and what entertainment has been doing to the nation or to the world, we can only say one thing: hats off to all these segments, because these are the segments which are the pillars on which the consumer is relying upon, be it for advertisement of products, be it for education, infotainment, entertainment, or even plain news. All that I would love to say while summing up is that media will constantly play a very great role. Communication, maybe the postman is no longer going to be delivering letters to you in an expectation that you're going to be getting your results through the postman, or you're going to be getting some good news from the postman, or a money order is coming. Those days are gone. It has been replaced by the electronic media or the web media, the social media. But trust me, the new forms have emanated where mails and other forms of communication are there in order to ensure that we are updated and tuned in, and we have live chats and entertainment. Maybe it is at the OTT level is there. It may be at the moment slightly restricted, but for sure, when it's going to be opened up, we will find that along with OTT, the theaters will also be rocking, and entertainment will be more than ever before, because people, while staying at home, have wanted to have an outlet of expression, want to get out of the houses, and I'm sure that entertainment is going to get back as never before. I will only end by saying, Jai Media, Jai Communication, Jai Entertainment, Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, RG. Thank you very much. Very forceful, very passionate. I really must accept that you are the youngest among all of us through the passion that you reflect through your personality and your words. If I can sum up your beautiful talk of last 15 minutes in 4 words: nostalgia, 1; democratization in times of internet; quest for credibility, a challenge before news media; and relevance redefined for entertainment of tomorrow. These are the 4 things that RG puts before us in this discussion today, in the inaugural session of the maiden version of India Communication Summit IndiComs 2021. I now have the pleasure to invite the guest of honor, to invite the chief guest of this session, who is also presenting the keynote address. He is someone who has actually pioneered digital communication in India, digital media in India. Some 22, 23 years ago, almost a quarter century ago, when internet was hardly known, digital was hardly the word. This gentleman whom you'll meet now is quite young, and he has, at a very, very young age, he pioneered digital media by launching Exchange for Media. Exchange for Media, which is the default screen today of all advertising and marketing professionals in their laptops and mobiles. Exchange for Media, which brought a series of face-to-face programs as well. Fabulous industry meets in the field of marketing, communication, and entertainment. Exchange for Media Group, which later on expanded to bring in impact and also pitch. And thereafter, today, a huge number of communities, I think 16 communities maybe, through Businessworld ecosystem, taking over a magazine, Businessworld, turning it into a multiple community platform, which is a fabulous idea for the new age, for the new era of internet-driven, digital-driven media. I'm talking of none other than Dr. Anurag Batra, an entrepreneur, an author, angel investor, and mentor to entrepreneurs, and a pioneer in digital communication. I also have the pleasure to inform that he is the chairman of a committee by the Government of India focusing on vocational training framework. Interestingly, which I did not know and I came to know only today, very, very long ago, some quarter century or more ago, he was the system analyst of Tata Consultancy Services. From TCS to becoming an entrepreneur and a serial entrepreneur, and today leading one of the most important digital media conglomerates of India. Over to you, Dr. Anurag Batra, for your keynote address as the chief guest of the inaugural session of IndiCom.
Thank you, Professor Chowdhury, and thank you, Rahul, for inviting me. First of all, it was not TCS. I got a job offer at Mastech.
Okay.
I was in CMC, and then I did my internship with CMC, and from MDI I got a job offer at Mastech. While I was in engineering, I got a job offer from another IT company, which I don't remember the name, the mid-sized company. So I've never been offered a job by TCS. Otherwise, I would have taken it, and I wouldn't have started company. So it's never too late. But
good that TCS never gave you that offer.
But good to see you. How's your health doing, first of all, Professor Chowdhury?
Yes,
I hope you're okay. You had a small fall.
Yes,
Again, me and Professor Chowdhury over the last 2 decades
Yes.
interacted a lot, and I benefited from the association. And some of his past students have played long innings with us, contributed to what we've done. Rahul, what you're trying to do, I understand, because in some way I am also trying to do the same. So I believe the more the merrier. The life is about abundance. There is enough for everyone, and you should do well. GR is my second interaction with you. So happy to hear you again. I signed in at 1:20. Of course, I was then doing some text, but not many people know that GR started in media. First time I interacted with him, I got to know that. So he does understand media well, and he understands, of course, investment better than media. But, no business is rocket science. It's common science. The more you do it, you become a domain expert and you get better at it. Now, I really want to just say 5 things. One is the fact that what is the next big thing in media? I think I want to focus on saying that the next big thing is gaming. It's already here, but it'll become more mainstream. It is slated to be a $3 billion industry in India in terms of revenue soon. So gaming will become mainstream. It will become part of every experience in media, whether we consume B2B content, B2C content, entertainment content, interactivity and gaming go together. So the AR, VRization will really help. Okay, so I think that's the biggest thing I want to tell our viewers. And just to give you some numbers, gaming, and I'll give you 2-3 reports just to open the eyes of the people on the podcast. You may already know that gaming is growing by a compounded annual growth rate, which is a very healthy 2-digit rate. Of course, just to tell you that in 2020, the gaming global gaming market was about 163 billion, and it is expected to almost double over the next 5 years, 6 years. And just to give you a data point, e-commerce, which is the largest e-tailing, e-commerce and e-tailing in US, which is the largest market, was 16% of the overall retailing. In last 11 months, it's become 27%. So 16% in 20 years and 11% in 11 months. So that's the pace of acceleration of adoption. So even in gaming, we'll go globally from $163 billion to $300 billion in the next 5.5, 6 years. So this is almost a 11 to 12% CAGR every year. And again, the emergence of cloud gaming is driving the market. Now, whether you look at Sega, Ubisoft, Epic Games, Atari, Warner Brothers, Disney Interactive Studio, have gone online to distribute their games. Also, in May 2020, NVIDIA GeForce added 19 games to its cloud gaming library, further announcing an additional 18 new games. So clearly, cloud and gaming are coming together, and that's creating a whole new set of new gamers. And let me give you an example from the Indian investment scenario from the markets. We had 2 crore investors on the stock market till a year back. We have now 4 crore plus, growing very fast. So the adoption of gaming platforms such as esports is really driving adoption of gaming to the millennials. And also from a business standpoint, there is enough mergers and acquisitions that is happening. For instance, the Forge Arena made by Phoenix Rising Studios, a Canadian startup, which has now become a very big player in esports. The game is free to download like Fortnite and Counter-Strike. Also, with the outbreak of COVID-19, home entertainment seems to have added a new option of gaming. Gaming was not a big home entertainment option, but in the last 1 year, in a market like US, the gamers spent 45% more time than they spent before COVID. And similarly, if you look at other markets like France, UK, Germany, France grew by 38%, UK by 29%. This is the average time spent by a gamer. Of course, US is the largest market in terms of time spent, in terms of revenues, and Germany 20%. Now, if in India also we had similar trends, and you'll soon see the IPO of a large gaming major in Nazara. So gaming will become mainstream. That's what, I think every aspect has been talked about between Professor Chowdhury and GR. So I thought I'd focus on gaming. Now, if gaming and AR and VR are going to become mainstream, then what are its implications? Now, every year I follow the report of a venture capitalist. Her name is Mary Meeker, and she does a state of the internet. Okay, and clearly she's been able to forecast reports and trends ahead of other. A lot of her forecasts have come true actually. So I just want to give you a slice of what is she saying. It's called the Mary Meeker's Internet Trends. And if you look at, she has not done a forecast this year, but let's look at what she said in 2019. She talked about the rise of short form videos and what she called super apps. Now that has happened. The acceleration of short form video is a big trend. Today, even in when you watch OTTs, shorter duration films, are getting tractions. And really, as the number of internet users grows, all major internet markets in the world, China has the most internet users in the world. Almost 21% of the internet users in the world come from China. Then it is followed by India, then the US and Indonesia. So clearly, of course, Chinese companies took 7 of the top 20 spots for internet market cap leaders: Alibaba, Tencent, Meituan, Dianping, JD.com, Baidu, NetEase, and Xiaomi. And really, I think the next century is of Indian companies. The reason I went is the Chinese company did well with the Prime Minister doing the Atmanirbhar campaign and the Indian entrepreneurs thinking big. I think really the mobile data usage in India is growing, and also every parameter of internet statistics in India is growing, whether it's the consumption of video, consumption of data, consumption of gaming. So clearly media will not just become a news industry. It is not just an entertainment industry. It is becoming a co-creation and a gaming industry. And again, most of the media companies are reinventing themselves to become content tech plays. GR understands that tech companies has a larger role to play and a better valuation and an opportunity to reach out to millennials better than traditional companies. So really, if I had to say the 5 trends in India in internet consumption, first is, as I talked about, gaming. Second is the rise of short form video, which continues to grow in every format, whether it's in the cinema format, OTT format, or on the web. Third is, for the first time, internet companies, the line between internet companies, content companies, and media companies is blurring. We talked about TMT, which is technology, media, and telecom. Clearly, that convergence truly is happening now. There are overlaps between what a telecom company does, what an internet company does, and what a traditional media company does. I mean, what is Zoom? I would like to ask people. You'd say, oh, it's a video app that allows, but it is a media tech company, right? It is not a content tech company. It's a media tech company. So the point I'm trying to make is the way you define media post-COVID is also something that we must look at. My fourth point is, again, in every business, data is playing a larger and larger role. As they said 3 years back, data is the new oil. So clearly, as you saw the spectrum options happen, and again, the telecom sector, thanks to COVID, has got a new lease. And, you know, we've been talking about the Internet of Things for a while. We've been talking on the industrial IoT for a while, but it is now becoming very, very, very important. And one of the domains, like the pharma sector and the healthcare sector, will be the IT and ITS sectors of 3 decades back. They will also be driven by content. So content will become a driver of e-commerce businesses, you know, of healthcare companies, which are digital healthcare companies or telehealthcare companies. And, you know, this work from anywhere movement will give us more time to consume more content, to experiment with more formats, to create content. Already content creators are themselves large media platforms. They have large users. So individuals will continue to become, I won't use the word influencers, but I would say they would become platforms or go-to places for content and audiences. My last point, I think I've already said content is going to become bigger. I would like to say that in India, content itself will see between $5 to $10 billion of investment in content tech companies in India. You know, again, Byju's, we can talk about it. It's of course an education, edutech play, but it's the back of content, and that's why Disney's partnered with Byju's. So the point I'm trying to make is, if we need to build the new age companies which combine the best of the past and the technologies that kind of we use, then we have to reimagine what a media and content company is. What is the role of a media and content professional? What is the skill set he or she needs to have? Clearly, content will drive e-commerce. Content will drive social e-commerce. Content will drive a lot of decisions that millennials and the new e-consumers that have got added in the last 12 months to the ecosystem do. So clearly, the future is about content. Of course, distribution stays key. Social media platforms stay very important. Future is about transforming from a traditional media company to a content tech play. A great example of those two companies are, I mean, again, you can call it ad tech or mark tech, but look at what Daily Hunt has done. Look at what InShorts has done. They don't create content in a traditional way. They curate content, and through artificial intelligence and machine learning, serve the content to users. I want to end by saying that the future may not look like what it looks like today. So we need to create and build that future and be relevant in that future. Thank you so much for inviting me here, and I stick to my time of 15 minutes. Thank you so much.
Very, very categorical, professional, timely, and futuristic talk. The talk that emphasizes on these 5 critical points of media for tomorrow. India Communication Summit is really thankful to you for flagging these areas. First, gaming, AR, VR, the emerging technologies are becoming mainstream. We knew that this was another tool of communication and entertainment. That it is becoming mainstream is what you've explained. And interestingly, you have also quoted Mary Micker's internet trends, which is very well known, how short form video and super apps are calling shall call the shots. And she said in 2019, and we know what happened in 2020 to short form video and super apps, flooding our consumption of media. The second point that you say, telecom, internet, traditional media converging. I have been also talking about media convergence. You have taken it further to a greater extent to include telecom, internet, and traditional media. That actually makes the world of media very different from what it was when we were students. Third, content will drive business. Work from home will increase content consumption. And therefore, since content consumption will increase, people will do business through branded content being consumed by the target audience. Another big point that you have brought in. You have also talked about content tech companies. Now, which are the rising stars? You are predicting a 10 billion investment in content tech companies in the next couple of years. And media is increasingly turning into content tech companies and giving examples of Daily Hunt or In Shorts and all. With this scenario, you are trying to bring forth that the future is very different from what we look today, what it looks today. We are actually moving to a different future, may not be totally known and understood at this point of time. And let's build the future together. It's a web-led future, it's a content-led future, it's a convergence-led future, it's an emerging technology-led future. Thank you, Dr. Batra, for your special address.
And one point I taken
Yes.
in my notes, I forgot.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I was talking to a edutech player, Coursera, and what are the top courses in 2021 for the last 12 months taken are there about communication, they're about listening, they're about mindfulness, they're about gratitude. So while the technology skills will be there, we need to add on these skills, and individuals and professionals are adding these skills. I said the top 4 courses were about communication, listening, mindfulness, and gratitude. So they're not about learning Python coding. Python became the number 3 course. It was number 1 last year. So just wanted to tell you that while the technology grows, the value of human touch and human attributes will only grow, and it is needed more. So just wanted to make that point.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think we had a very, very informative and futuristic sort of an inaugural session, looking at nostalgia from RG and talking about future from Dr. Batra. RG, would you like to pose any question before we bring this session to an end to Dr. Batra?
Well, I think Anurag went into the future, and the question that comes to my mind immediately is, Anurag, how do you see the media changing in terms of if it is going to be social media that's going to be ruling the world? Are we sounding the death knell of the print and the visual media? And are there tremors to be felt by those in this world of print and visual media?
Seems Dr. Batra has just dropped actually. Maybe
Okay.
Ujjwal sir, you would like to answer this.
No,
Why don't you answer it, Professor Chowdhury?
I would not say death knell because, first of all, a newspaper is a habit more than a necessity. It's a habit. So there is a generation, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and there is a generation which is newly educated in the hinterland of the country. So newspapers dying completely, I would not be predicting just now. However, the circulation has gone down for sure. Post-pandemic, no newspaper has gone back to the same figures which they were before the pandemic. So circulation has gone down for sure. So it is on the way out, but that could be slow and long term. Having said that, the consumption of news has not gone down. The paper is maybe on decline, but the consumption of news on your handphone and consumption of news on the screen, the laptop screen, that hasn't gone down. For example, today, Indian Express newspaper and IndianExpress.com, if you compare, or NDTV channel and NDTV.com, in both cases, the .coms command a far bigger allegiance of the audience. This has been told by their CEOs themselves. And the only question that the people were not able to correct the monetization of the .com. So that's what's happening gradually now. Times of India has cracked, they've crossed 400 crores revenue last year on the .com platform itself. But that is nothing in front of 25,000 crores revenue of Times of India Group. So it's a long way there. Having said that, newspapers, though it will survive for the next 10 years or 12 years or 15 years, in the long run, even now and in the long run, it's an era of web-led journalism and more so on the mobile or MOZO mobile journalism. Thank you. Thank you.
Comprehensive answer, Dr. Chowdhury.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.